He died alone, but the town only realized he mattered when it was too late. In a quiet corner of Ohio, there stood a small wooden house at the end of Maple Street. It was old. The paint was fading. The mailbox leaned slightly to the left, as if even it had given up hope. Inside that house lived a man named Harold Bennett. He was 82 years old, and he was completely alone. No wife. No children. No grandchildren visiting on holidays. No photos of family on the walls, just silence and time. Harold wasn't always alone. There was a time when his house was full of laughter. Years ago, he had a wife. Her name was Eleanor. She used to sing while cooking breakfast. She used to complain about his bad coffee. She used to say, "We'll grow old together, Harold. Promise me that." And he did. But life doesn't always keep promises. Eleanor got sick in her late 50s. Doctors said it was slow, but certain. Harold stayed by her bedside every single day for 14 months. He held her hand when she forgot his name. He smiled when she confused him with her father. And when she finally passed away, she was holding his hand. After the funeral, Harold never really came back. Not emotionally. Not mentally. Not fully. He still walked. He still ate. He still breathed. But something inside him had stayed in that hospital room forever. The house changed after she was gone. The kitchen became too big for one person. The bedroom felt colder, even in summer. The silence grew heavier each year, like dust that could never be cleaned. Harold tried to adapt. He started small routines just to survive the days. Every morning at 6:30, he made coffee. Every morning he placed 2 cups on the table out of habit, then quietly removed one. He would laugh sometimes at his own mistake, but the laugh never lasted long. He tried calling old friends, but people move on. He tried joining a local church group, but conversations never lasted beyond greetings, and slowly, he stopped trying. There was one place Harold never stopped going, a small diner called Maggie's Diner at the end of town. Every Sunday morning, he would wear the same gray coat, fix his white hair carefully, and walk there slowly. It took him 18 minutes. He always sat at the same booth. The waitress was a young woman named Clara. She was kind, but not overly familiar, just enough warmth to make Harold feel human. "Good morning, Harold," she always said, and that sentence became the most important part of his week. He always ordered the same meal, eggs, toast, black, coffee. He never finished everything. He just stayed there a little longer than necessary because going home meant going back to silence. At home, Harold developed a strange habit. He started talking to the old radio in his kitchen. It didn't matter what station was on. Sometimes news. Sometimes music. Sometimes static. He would say things like, "I think it's going to snow tonight." Or, "Eleanor would have liked this song." He knew no one was listening, but silence becomes unbearable when it has no witness. So he created one. That year, winter came early. The town became quieter than usual. Even the wind seemed tired. Harold's health began to weaken. He walked slower. He slept more. He forgot small things, like whether he had already eaten. One night, as snow began falling heavily outside, Harold sat in his chair near the window. Looked outside for a long time. The world was white, empty, still. He reached into a drawer and pulled out an old photograph. Eleanor smiled back at him from a different life. A life that felt like it belonged to someone else now, Harold whispered. I kept my promise. I stayed. That night, Harold did something unusual. He placed both coffee cups on the table again. He smiled slightly. Then he whispered to the empty room. I'm tired now. He turned off the lights, sat in his chair, held the photo tightly in his hand. And for the first time in years, he felt no loneliness, only peace. Harold Bennett died in his sleep that night. No pain. No struggle, just stillness. But the world does not notice quiet departures. Days passed, then a week, mail piled up. The lights stayed off. The house remained silent. Until a neighbor finally said, I haven't seen Harold in a while. The police came. They opened the door and found him sitting in his chair, still holding the photograph. There were only a few people, a priest, a city worker, Clara from the diner. No family arrived because there was no one left to call. At the funeral, no one spoke much. What do you say about a man who lived quietly and died quietly? As the coffin was lowered, Clara stepped forward. She placed a small note on top. It said, Good morning, Harold. And for a moment, she cried. Not loudly, just quietly, like the life he lived. After the funeral, Harold Bennett's house stayed untouched for several days. No lights turned on. No footsteps echoed in the hallway. No morning coffee smell filled the kitchen. Just silence. Thick, unfamiliar silence. The kind that makes a place feel like it is holding its breath. When a city worker finally arrived to clear the property, he expected nothing unusual. Just an old man's belongings. Just another quiet ending. But the moment he stepped inside, something felt different. It didn't feel like an abandoned house. It felt like someone had just left, but might still come back. On the kitchen table, there were 2 coffee cups, one slightly cleaner than the other, as if someone had always been waiting for a second person who never arrived. In the bedroom, clothes were folded neatly on a chair. Not discarded, not forgotten, prepared, like life was supposed to continue. And in the drawers, there were notes, hundreds of them, short sentences, thoughts never shared with anyone. Eleanor would have liked this weather. I saw a couple laughing today. I think I'm getting used to being alone. That scares me. No one called today. The worker stopped reading after a while. It didn't feel like paperwork anymore. It felt like listening to a life slowly fade without anyone noticing. In the living room, he found an old cassette recorder. He pressed play. A faint crackling filled the room. Then Harold's voice, tired, calm, real. If you're listening to this, then I guess I'm gone. I don't know if my life mattered to anyone. Used to think being alone meant nobody cared, but I've learned something else. It just means you stop expecting them. Too, there was a long pause, only the sound of breathing, then silence. The tape ended. No goodbye. No final words. Just an ending that didn't feel like an ending. A few days later, Clara, the waitress from Maggie's diner, came to the house. She didn't say why. She just needed to see it. Inside, she stood in the kitchen for a long time, staring at the table where Harold used to sit every Sunday. Then she noticed something she hadn't seen before. Small carving under the wood. Faded. Barely. Visible. 2 names. Harold and Eleanor together, still there, still existing, even after everything else had disappeared. Clara closed her eyes for a moment, and she finally understood something she hadn't before. He wasn't just lonely, he was waiting in a world that never came back for him. A week later, she placed a framed photo on his booth at the diner. No announcement. No explanation, just an empty chair and a quiet message underneath. Some people don't leave loudly. They just stop being seen. People noticed it. At first, they didn't ask. Then they understood. And the booth was never truly empty again. Every Sunday morning after that, Clara placed 2 cups of coffee on the table. Not because someone was coming, but because someone once did, and somehow. That was enough.